Welcome to episode 9. So today I thought I'd talk to you about the pros and cons of being a busker. Now these are my pros and cons and may not necessarily apply to all buskers. But here we go. So my first pro is what I see as the main one, which is you get to decide when you work and when you don't work. This can also have a side effect to it because when you're not being told where you have to be at a specific time, you can fall into being lazy. It can be really tempting just not to go to work at all. But you have enough times where you do that and then you end up really, really broke and it kicks your butt into gear and you go out and you busk again. It also comes with a special type of guilt whenever you take a day off. And it's really hard to know where sort of your border is for being lazy and really actually needing some time off. Because there's a lot that can go into being a musician, being a busker behind the scenes when you're not actually performing, and it's really hard to sometimes choose between whether you go out and you perform or you stay at home and you work on all the background stuff. Sometimes you just need a break. You need some you time. And it's really hard to take that time without feeling like I should be out and making money right now. Because you're always worried if you get sick, you won't be able to work, have a bill come up that you weren't expecting. Just, you need to be prepared and there's no safeguard there. Like a lot of regular jobs where you've got sick leave. If you can't work, you don't make money. I do enjoy being able to choose when I work, and currently my schedule's sort of, I work a Monday or a Tuesday as a bookkeeper, and then whichever day I don't work as a bookkeeper, and Wednesday and Thursday I sort of have to do things at home, just all your regular life stuff, socializing, creating videos, learning new songs. There's just so much you can fit into that off time where you're still working, but you're working from home. And then I tend to try and go out busking on a Friday night, a Saturday night, and sometimes a Sunday afternoon. I just fill all my time the best that I can. So the next thing is another pro, and that is busking allows you to have a stage to perform when you don't have somewhere else to perform. So this is a great way to keep getting out there in the public and sharing your music. So sometimes when you're busking, if you don't time it right or it's just a weird day, you can have a day where you feel really invisible because people are just walking past and just not acknowledging you, and it can be really disheartening to go home after you've put in just as much effort as you've done on days that have been absolutely wonderful, but you just don't feel like people appreciated it. Yet sometimes there's just like an energy, and sometimes maybe that's coming from me. It could just be an off day that I'm not feeling too good, but you can sit there, and as much as you're making sound and, you know, providing an act for the public, you can feel like you're just like a statue and just no one notices you. So another big one for me is busking allows me to earn money for performing music. It's pretty great. I think I've covered this in my other videos, so moving on. So con is like all the weirdos, your drunk people and your fights that sometimes go on. Like for me, I work a lot of night times and it can get pretty crazy. There's also like less security around in general for busking. Very specifically for me at night time, I feel like it's not always very safe, and depending on how much crazy stuff has happened for me, I go through stages where I don't do nights anymore and I just try and tough out the daytimes because I'm just not feeling safe, and it is a bit of a risk to go out alone and sit on the street and perform music with a bunch of equipment. I guess you just have to put your faith that the majority of people will be decent people and will treat you with respect. And there's always police wandering up and down where I perform anyway. You've got them on the horses, the mounted division, and then them just wandering as well. And I've got the police on speed dial just in case anything happens. But I guess, like, even though I've got that in the back of my mind, I do feel like I'm pretty much on my own, and that can be a bit scary depending on who's around and what's happening. So this could be seen as a pro or a con, or both. But as a busker, basically everything is on your shoulders. So you're a roadie and you're setting up your gear and you're the performer. You just do everything. And that can be good. It can be bad too, because, yeah, it can get kind of lonely. Is as much as you can be out there and there's other buskers, and you do stop and have conversations because, geez, they can get you through some nights. But for the most part, you're sat there performing alone. I'm quite an introverted person, so some nights I don't want to engage with people, and other nights I'm just craving a bit of social interaction. Sometimes I'm just so into my music that I am loving it. But other times, I just feel like I'm in auto mode. As much as I love performing music, it still can get a bit boring at times, especially when you're doing it so frequently. Now, a con is, because of the varying amounts you bring in from busking, it can come with quite a financial pressure and a sort of constant stress because you don't know what lies ahead. And sometimes that financial pressure can take the joy out of busking. And it's hard to sort of separate that. It's so joined, joy of performing and joy of making the money from the busking, that it can get hard sometimes to still get that joy from performing if you're really stressed out about your finances. And so it's pushing past that and still remembering that you're out playing music, and that's just great. Another thing is, sometimes people see you on the street and they're in a real need of a chat. And so they'll come up and start talking to you. Depending on what mood I'm in, sometimes I'll talk to them, have a 30-minute conversation some nights. Other times it annoys me. It also sort of correlates with how much financial pressure I've put myself under. If I know that I've got to make a certain amount of money to pay off a bill, I don't want to be wasting my time speaking to someone when I should be earning money. And that might sound a bit harsh, but the reality is that the street is my workplace and I need to bring in a certain amount sometimes. So another pro is that you can make some wonderful memories with strangers just out on the street. And I think that's pretty cool. You come away with these things that you've done, you've been involved in, and whether that's people dancing to your music or coming up and singing along with you and not invading your space but just singing along with you. That's pretty cool, It's like on the street karaoke and just having fun with friends, but these friends happen to be strangers, people I've never met before. Busking can cheer me up when I'm feeling down. It can be hard to get myself out of the house when I'm feeling flat as a tack, but sometimes when I do that and I get myself set up and I'm busking, like 3 songs in, I've completely forgotten why I was feeling down, or I've just shrugged it off. And music's just so healing, and it's great that I can go out and do that when I want to. Another pro, you get to play whatever songs you want to. It's completely up to you. For me, it tends to work better financially if I play more popular songs. But some nights I just sort of change it up and I play songs for me. Sometimes you just get a bit sick of playing a song for the 20th time in the past month. And it's great just to have that artistic, creative control over what you're doing out there. Pro, people see me out busking and book me for gigs sometimes. Now this is a pro and a con, and that is playing outdoors. Now this can be great when it's just one of those perfect days, but on the days when it's just boiling hot and you can't find a shady spot, or it's pouring with rain and you can't get in under the cover. It can suck a bit. Now, another big pro is you don't have to wear a uniform. You can wear whatever you want. I like to go with something that's usually decently professional, but some days I'm just not feeling it, and I'll just go out in jeans and a t-shirt. It's completely up to me, and I love having that control. It's also a really great way to express yourself with all the crazy things that you want to do. I mean, have you seen some of those buskers? The statues, the characters, like, it's pretty awesome. So a con is at least once a week, I'm caught absolutely busting for the toilet. When I go busking, it's just me, and I can't exactly walk away from my equipment. So I tend to go to the bathroom before I set up, and then play as long as I can. This is on a night time when it's not bothering anyone at all. And then I will pack myself up, race back to my car and put my gear in, and race to the toilet, and it's not very fun. Busting for the toilet, and I am totally going to regret it when I get older. So they're my pros and cons of being a busker. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of these videos, this series is My Life as a Busker, and I'll be making a lot more of these videos, so subscribe and you'll get notified when I upload some new ones. I'll see you next time. Bye.